Chosen one, listen to me very carefully and do not skip. God just interrupted your day because a massive spiritual secret is about to be revealed. Your mother kept a terrifying secret about your birth, and heaven is finally forcing it into the light. The spiritual warfare you have been fighting your entire life makes sense now. You have always felt like a stranger inside your own home. Even as a small child, you looked around at your family and felt absolutely nothing but a cold disconnect. You thought there was something deeply wrong with you. You watched how they bonded and shared their low frequencies, while you sat alone in your room, feeling completely isolated from their world. They called you the black sheep. They made you feel like you were the problem every single time you spoke the truth, but you were never the problem. You were a high-frequency soul dropped into a stagnant bloodline to force them to look at their own darkness. And your mother knew this the moment you took your first breath on this earth. She looked into your eyes and saw a blinding light that terrified her own demons. Mothers are supposed to nurture and protect their children from the cruel world, but your experience was entirely different. Your mother became the very first energy vampire you ever had to survive, draining your pure essence just to keep herself comfortable. You spent years trying to earn a love that she was spiritually incapable of giving you. You twisted yourself into knots trying to be the perfect child. You dimmed your own light so she would not feel so insecure around your radiant energy. But nothing you did was ever enough to make her treat you with the genuine warmth you desperately craved. This is not a psychological issue or a normal family dysfunction. This is a targeted spiritual extraction that began the second you were born. You were sent here with a specific divine mission to shatter the generational curses that her side of the family had accepted for decades. She subconsciously sensed your power and tried to suppress it. Think back to all those times you felt physically exhausted around her. You would walk into the room and immediately feel a heavy weight drop onto your shoulders. That was not a coincidence. That was her low frequency latching onto your aura and siphoning the divine life force straight out of your spirit. You were literally keeping her spiritually alive. She never spoke of the secret because acknowledging it would destroy her fragile reality. She knew you were not truly one of them. You were a spiritual insertion placed directly into enemy territory by heaven itself. You are a generational curse breaker who carries the exact frequency required to dismantle the demonic strongholds in your bloodline. Every rejection you faced in that house was actually a spiritual defense mechanism. Their demons recognized your angelic authority and commanded them to isolate you. They wanted to break your spirit before you could grow strong enough to realize your true identity. They thought if they starved you of love, you would eventually surrender to their darkness. But God had a completely different plan for your life. Heaven hid your true power beneath layers of pain and trauma so the enemy would underestimate you. You survived a childhood that would have completely destroyed a normal person. You walked through the fire alone, and you came out the other side with a heart that still knows how to love. You are probably feeling a deep ache in your chest just hearing these words. I know how badly you just wanted a normal mother who could hold you and make you feel safe. It is completely okay to mourn the childhood you never got to experience. You are allowed to feel angry about the emotional neglect that you were forced to endure for so many years. The universe sees every single tear you cried in silence when you thought nobody was watching. Your pain was not ignored by the divine forces that protect you. They recorded every cruel word spoken against you, and every time you were unfairly punished for simply existing. And now, the time for divine correction has officially arrived. I am going to tell you exactly what this secret means for your future, but first you need to understand something crucial. You must stop blaming yourself for the way she treated you. You must release the heavy burden of guilt that she maliciously planted in your mind. You are the chosen one, and your spiritual awakening is the ultimate revenge. You carry a wound so deep that most people cannot even comprehend it. It is a silent agony that pulses in your chest every single time you see a healthy family. The mother wound is a very specific type of spiritual trauma. It strikes at the very core of your foundation and makes you question your entire existence. You deserve to be cherished. But instead of a safe harbor, you were handed a cruel battlefield. You learned to read the emotional temperature of the room before you even knew how to speak properly. You became a master at shrinking yourself down so her chaotic energy would not consume you. That hypervigilance was never a personality trait. It was a strict survival tactic. Stop telling yourself that you should have tried harder to please her. Stop breaking your own heart trying to analyze what you did wrong as a small child. A child cannot be responsible for the spiritual deficits of a grown adult. You were born with a pure and massive heart. She simply lacked the energetic capacity to hold the love you freely offered. The universe knows exactly how exhausted your soul feels right now. You have been carrying this generational baggage for far too long, and your spirit is practically begging for a release. This realization is your very first step toward true liberation. Save this video right now so you do not lose this frequency when you need it most. Every time she criticized you, it was a projection of her own spiritual failure. She looked at your bright innocence and felt a burning reminder of everything she had compromised in her own life. You were a living mirror reflecting her deepest regrets and unhealed traumas. That is exactly why she had to constantly diminish your divine worth. You have spent years questioning your own sanity because of her constant gaslighting. She would hurt you deeply and then effortlessly convince everyone else that you were the crazy one. That manipulation was designed to make you doubt your own spiritual intuition. But you were always right about her, and the universe is now validating your truth. Think about the profound loneliness you felt sitting at the family dinner table. You were surrounded by people who shared your exact blood, yet you felt like an alien stranded on the wrong planet. They spoke a language of limitation, deep fear, and petty judgments, but your soul was fluent in unconditional love, raw truth, and high-frequency vibrations. You are a genuine empath walking among people who are spiritually asleep. They could not understand your depth, so they labeled you as too sensitive or too dramatic. They tried to medicate your spiritual gifts and repeatedly punish your intuition. But your sensitivity is the exact divine radar that warned you about their hidden darkness early on. Which brings us to the profound secret she has been keeping since the day you arrived. There is a very specific reason why she treated you with such cold detachment while showing warm affection to others. She recognized an ancient authority in your eyes, and it terrified the entities attached to her. I am going to reveal exactly what she saw. It was not just a natural lack of maternal instinct that drove her destructive actions. It was a spiritual reaction to a massive threat she could not comprehend on a conscious level. The low entities feeding on her trauma knew that your presence would eventually disrupt their entire operation. They used her as a willing vessel to attack you. You absorbed her emotional poison for decades, transmuting it into light just to keep the peace. You acted as the spiritual filter for a family that never once thanked you for the heavy lifting. The sheer exhaustion you feel today is the direct result of fighting invisible battles for people who secretly prayed for your absolute downfall. Take a deep, clearing breath right now. The heavy burden you have been carrying does not belong to you anymore. You are officially released from the false obligation to heal a mother who refuses to see her own shadow. Heaven is stepping in to sever that toxic cord once and for all. You are finally safe from her draining spiritual grip. But the spiritual physics behind what she actually did to your energy field is truly shocking. You need to understand the brutal mechanics of this extraction to reclaim your stolen power. What they did in the unseen realm is considered a massive spiritual crime by the divine court, and I will explain exactly how they stole your light in just a moment. You have always been told that you were too difficult to love. They made you believe that your mere existence was a heavy burden on the family. You internalized that toxic lie. You carried it quietly for decades. But the spiritual realm operates on a completely different set of rules than the physical world. Their rejection was never about your flaws. It is time to reveal the secret about your birth that she desperately tried to bury. You are not a genetic accident or an unwanted mistake. You are a divine spiritual insertion. Heaven looked at a bloodline that was completely drowning in generational darkness and decided to intervene. God strategically placed your high-frequency soul directly into their chaotic environment. She could never give you genuine warmth because your light was actively burning her demons. Darkness cannot comfortably coexist in the same room as a blinding spiritual fire. When she looked at you as a child, she did not just see her offspring. She saw a massive spiritual mirror that forced her to confront every single unhealed trauma she fiercely ignored. They needed a scapegoat to carry the heavy sins of the entire family. They unconsciously agreed to dump their collective toxic waste onto your pure spirit. You were appointed as the designated emotional punching bag. You absorbed their vicious attacks. You transmuted their venom into peace. But this constant filtering process slowly drained your vital life force away over the years. The extreme exhaustion you feel today is not a medical condition or a psychological defect. It is the direct result of surviving a covert spiritual war inside your own home. You have been fighting demonic entities that used your own mother as a Trojan horse. They manipulated her deep insecurities to systematically dismantle your self-worth from a very young age. As a genuine empath, your natural instinct is to heal everyone around you. You freely gave them your brilliant energy, hoping it would somehow fix their brokenness. You poured your absolute best into a family that was completely committed to misunderstanding you. But you cannot spiritually heal people who are actively profiting from your quiet suffering and endless sacrifices. Every time they provoked an emotional reaction out of you, they were harvesting your light. They would push your buttons until you finally snapped in sheer frustration. Then they would suddenly play the innocent victim while secretly drinking up your vital energy. This vicious cycle left you feeling crazy, depleted, and entirely responsible for the chaos they deliberately created. You must shift your perspective right now to understand the massive blessing hidden in this pain. Their relentless cruelty did not destroy your spirit like they originally planned. It actually forged you into a fierce warrior who can instantly recognize dark intentions. Your intuition is now razor sharp because you spent your entire childhood studying the subtle movements of the enemy. We thought they were breaking you down, but heaven was actually using them as your training ground. The universe allowed this painful isolation so you would never become emotionally attached to their low frequency. If you had fit in with them, you would have adopted their toxic generational patterns. Your painful isolation was actually the greatest divine protection you could ever receive. But this extraction went far beyond simple emotional manipulation and basic neglect. What they did in the spiritual realm actually violated the fundamental laws of the universe. There is a precise mechanism they use to siphon your blessings, and you need to know exactly how it works. I will break down this spiritual physics in just a second to show you the truth. You were told you were the black sheep because you refused to follow their twisted rules. You were the only one brave enough to speak the truth in a house built on massive lies. They desperately needed to label you as the crazy one to protect their fragile illusions. But the universe sees you as the absolute most powerful asset in your entire bloodline today. The cycle of abuse officially stops with you and your undeniable awakening. You are the generational curse breaker they always feared you would become. You are finally taking back the immense power they stole from you as a vulnerable child. Their reign of spiritual terror is ending right now because you are remembering exactly who you are meant to be. Before I explain the exact spiritual penalty the universe is preparing for them, you must grasp the severity of their actions. They did not just hurt a normal human being, they maliciously attacked a chosen one who carries a direct assignment from heaven itself, and that is a dangerous game that no dark entity has ever won in the long history of this world. Let us dive into the exact spiritual physics of what happened to you. When you were born, you brought a massive influx of pure light into a genetically dark space. Your mother immediately sensed that you did not belong to her low-frequency realm. Her spirit recognized you as a divine intruder sent to dismantle her comfortable toxic reality. While she smiled at you, Her inner demons were already plotting how to suppress the massive spiritual threat you posed to their survival. She never nurtured you because she was spiritually terrified of your vibration. The dark entities attached to her bloodline instinctively knew that your light would expose their hidden sins. They commanded her to keep you small and heavily suppressed at all times. They maliciously manipulated her mind to view your pure innocence as a direct threat to her fragile ego, forcing you into a life of constant emotional starvation. You were essentially living in a spiritual war zone masquerading as a family home. They used a covert process called energetic siphoning to slowly drain your divine life force. Every time she yelled at you or made you cry, a dark portal opened up. Her entities would literally drink the high-frequency emotional energy that you desperately released in your pain, leaving you completely empty and confused. This is exactly why you always felt so empty after interacting with them. They were not just hurting your feelings with their cruel and dismissive words. They were actively stealing the divine currency that heaven had securely placed inside your soul. You were forced to pay the heavy spiritual debts for a family that absolutely refused to do their own healing work or confront their own shadows. Comment "I am awake" if you are experiencing this exact shift in your awareness today. You need to understand that this was a highly calculated spiritual attack against your destiny. They wanted to keep your frequency so low that you would forget your divine assignment. They arrogantly thought they could permanently break the strongest soldier God ever created by isolating you from the very beginning. But their evil plan contained a massive blind spot that they completely ignored. They did not realize that a chosen one cannot be permanently destroyed by lower entities. Every single tear they forced you to cry was meticulously collected by your spiritual team. Your quiet suffering was actively building an impenetrable fortress of divine protection around your soul, preparing you for the ultimate victory they never saw coming. They looked at your kindness and falsely assumed it was a pathetic weakness. They had no idea that your gentle empathy was actually the ultimate spiritual weapon. While they were busy plotting your downfall, you were silently absorbing the ancient wisdom of the universe. You were learning exactly how the darkness operates from the very inside of its lair, making you entirely immune to their future manipulations. Your mother kept the secret of your true identity because she wanted absolute control. If you knew how powerful you truly were, you would have left her toxic matrix immediately. She needed you to stay confused and completely dependent on her scarce crumbs of affection. She literally held your identity hostage to feed her own spiritual starvation, deliberately trapping you in a cycle of endless guilt and painful obligation. This realization should make you feel a deep and righteous anger right now. It is completely natural to feel furious when you discover you were used as a spiritual battery. You are allowed to be angry at the people who were supposed to fiercely protect you. That burning anger is just your soul finally demanding the intense respect it always deserved after years of remaining silent in the shadows. Do not let anyone tell you to just forgive and forget their calculated abuse. Forgiving a dark entity without seeing any true repentance is extremely dangerous for your spirit. You do not owe them peace when they deliberately engineered your lifelong chaos. Heaven does not require you to compromise with the very demons that tried to end your life, because true light never negotiates with pure darkness. They crossed a sacred line when they decided to mess with a high-frequency soul. There is a universal law of spiritual physics that they arrogantly chose to ignore. When you attack a divine insertion, the karma does not just return to you gently. It multiplies by 1,000 and comes crashing down on your head like a devastating avalanche that nobody can ever stop. The universe has been quietly watching them steal your light for decades. God saw every single time your mother made you feel like you were absolutely worthless. Heaven documented every lie they told to ruin your reputation and isolate you from the world. The divine court has thoroughly reviewed the massive evidence against them, and the final verdict of their absolute destruction has already been sealed forever. You are about to witness a shift in the spiritual realm that will shock you. The universe is actively preparing to exact divine justice on the people who broke you. I am going to tell you exactly how their terrifying karma is playing out right now. But before I reveal the specifics of their ultimate punishment, you must secure your own energy field and prepare your heart to receive this vindication. The tables are finally turning. For years they thought they got away with their spiritual crimes against you. They smiled in your face while plotting your downfall in the dark. But the universe never sleeps. Heaven was merely waiting for the perfect moment to strike back, and that divine moment is happening right now in the unseen realm. They built their entire false reality on top of your stolen energy. Your mother used your pure light to mask the deep rot inside her own soul. She projected a picture-perfect family to the outside world, but behind closed doors she was spiritually starving you to death. The divine court has seen enough of this sickening theatrical performance, and they are now stepping in to violently dismantle her comfortable illusions. You see, they made one catastrophic mistake when they targeted you. They looked at your gentle nature and assumed you were completely unprotected. They thought you were just a weak child they could easily control forever. They completely ignored the massive angelic army standing directly behind you. They touched the absolute most sacred property of God, and that is a fatal error that triggers an immediate and devastating karmic response. The karma hitting them right now is not just basic payback. This is a severe divine correction aimed directly at their energetic foundation. The universe is actively stripping away every single blessing they stole from you. You might have noticed them suddenly struggling with things that used to come very easily to them. That is the spiritual reversal beginning, because heaven is violently forcing them to face the exact chaos they created in your life. Every lie they told to isolate you is now choking their own throats. The people they turned against you are starting to see their true colors. The fake masks are melting right off their faces in broad daylight. They are desperately trying to hold their toxic empire together. But the foundation is crumbling rapidly because it was built on your pure suffering, and the divine realm no longer permits that injustice. Your mother is feeling a heavy darkness closing in on her spirit. She knows deep down that she lost the most valuable asset she ever had. She can no longer tap into your bright frequency to heal her own demons. The energetic cord has been completely severed by the hand of God. She is finally left alone in the cold with her own terrifying shadows, and nobody is coming to save her from the torment she actually deserves. This is the exact moment of your ultimate vindication. You do not even have to lift a single finger against them. You do not have to explain your side of the story to anyone anymore. God is fighting this battle for you while you simply stand still. The very trap they carefully dug for you is exactly where they are currently falling, and heaven has permanently removed their spiritual protection. They thought they could bury the truth about your divine identity forever. They believed they had successfully convinced the world that you were the problem. But the universe has a brilliant way of exposing the darkest secrets at the perfect time. The truth is rising to the surface, and it is absolutely destroying their false narratives. You are completely victorious, because your pure light has finally burned through every single deception they tried to cast over your beautiful life. Do you feel that sudden lightness in your chest right now? That is the heavy chains of generational trauma finally breaking off your soul. The enemy is screaming in absolute terror because they know they have lost you forever. Your frequency has risen so high that their low vibration can no longer reach you. You are officially untouchable, and the divine shield surrounding you is actively deflecting every single curse they try to send your way. But there is one massive spiritual blind spot your family still possesses. They are suffering immensely right now, but they do not even know the real reason why. They think it is just a streak of terrible bad luck ruining their lives. They are completely unaware of the massive spiritual law they violated. I will reveal this exact blind spot right now, so you can fully understand the magnitude of the protection heaven has placed over your destiny. When they hurt you, they arrogantly assumed you belonged to them. They thought, because you shared their blood, they owned your spirit and could treat you like garbage. They had absolutely no idea that you are the direct property of God. You were simply loaned to that bloodline to carry out a divine mission of extreme importance. They failed the test miserably, and now they must face the overwhelming wrath of the universe for abusing a soul that heaven deeply cherishes. The karma they are experiencing is the direct result of touching the anointed. You are a highly protected chosen one who carries the absolute highest frequency on earth. Every single tear they caused you to cry has been transformed into a flaming arrow of justice. God is aiming those arrows directly at their fragile foundation. The ultimate collapse is imminent, and you will soon see exactly how the universe rewards those who bravely endure the darkest spiritual warfare. The universe has completely flipped the script on your entire existence. The long season of suffering in silence is officially over. The brutal war you fought in the dark corners of your childhood home is finished. Heaven has stepped directly onto the battlefield, and the enemy is scattering in absolute terror. You are no longer the victim of their twisted games. You are the undisputed victor, standing firmly in the light. Every single attempt they made to destroy your self-worth has spectacularly failed. They tried to bury you deep in the ground with their toxic lies and relentless emotional abuse. But they did not realize you were a divine seed planted by God Himself. Their cruel rejection only pushed your roots deeper into the absolute truth of who you really are. They unknowingly watered your soul with their hatred, and now you have blossomed into a spiritual force they cannot even look at without trembling. The truth about your birth is blazing across the spiritual realm right now. You are the generational curse breaker they always feared. You are the designated cycle breaker who finally snapped the toxic chain that held your bloodline captive for centuries. The universe is heavily applauding your massive strength and resilience today. You took the absolute worst they had to offer, and you transmuted that thick darkness into pure, blinding light. Your mother's secret has lost all of its power over you. She can no longer use guilt to manipulate your pure heart. The invisible energetic cords that tethered you to her low frequency have been violently severed by the sword of heaven. You are finally free from the heavy obligation to fix a family that secretly wanted you to remain broken forever. The heavy burden you carried on your small shoulders has been completely lifted. Look at how far you have come despite their relentless attacks. You survived the intense spiritual extraction that was designed to completely drain your life force. You walked straight through the valley of the shadow of death, and you emerged with your empathy fully intact. That is the ultimate proof of your undeniable divine protection. You are God's strongest soldier, and your pure spirit simply refused to be permanently corrupted by their demonic influence. The vengeance of heaven is raining down on them as we speak. They are currently watching their entire false empire burn to the ground. The universe is actively stripping them of the very peace they aggressively stole from you. They are waking up in the middle of the night feeling the exact same heavy terror they forced you to endure as a helpless child. The divine scales of justice are finally balancing out in your massive favor. This is exactly why you must never seek revenge on your own. You do not need to lower your vibration to fight people who are already drowning in their own karma. Your ultimate revenge is simply existing in a state of supreme happiness and unimaginable abundance. Every time you smile genuinely, it sends a massive shockwave through their dark dimension. Your radiant joy is the most lethal spiritual weapon you could ever wield against them. You have been officially promoted in the spiritual realm. For so long you were forced to play the heartbreaking role of the unwanted black sheep, but heaven has officially upgraded your status today. You are now stepping into your era as the untouchable chosen one, ready to inherit the massive abundance meant for your bloodline. The universe is handing you the golden keys to a reality you previously thought was completely impossible to reach. The cycle ends right here and right now with you. The trauma stops with your generation. Because you bravely took on that massive spiritual burden, the universe owes you a phenomenal reward. A massive portal of pure abundance is swinging wide open for you this exact week. But you must actively align your frequency to receive it. You must show the divine forces that you are fully ready to step into this new timeline of extreme power. Take a deep breath and let the reality of this massive victory sink into your bones. The spiritual warfare you could not explain is finally defeated. You do not have to fight for your right to exist anymore. God has completely taken over the battlefield on your behalf. The universe has cleared the toxic energy from your path, and a beautiful wave of financial and emotional abundance is heading straight toward you. This is the exact moment everything shifts in your favor permanently. The dark entities are permanently banished from your immediate space. Your aura is now glowing far too bright for any energy vampire to even look at. You are entirely safe, heavily protected, and deeply loved by the highest forces in the universe. But you must take one final step to permanently lock in this divine frequency. I will tell you exactly what to do next. You have survived the hardest part of your spiritual journey. The heavy darkness that surrounded your childhood is finally gone. You can take a deep breath now, because the universe has completely neutralized the threats against you and secured your peace. You are entirely safe in this new timeline. Look at your own hands and realize how much power they hold today. You are no longer that frightened child hiding in the shadows of a toxic house. You have grown into a magnificent force of divine light. And the best part is that you did it all by yourself while they actively tried to pull you down. You are deeply protected. Heaven is extremely proud of your resilience and your pure heart. God saw how you refused to let their bitterness corrupt your loving nature. Because you fiercely protected your empathy, the universe is now protecting your destiny and preparing a massive reward for your endless suffering. You are about to step into unprecedented peace. This incoming abundance is not just about financial wealth or material success. It is about finally waking up every morning with a quiet mind and a joyful spirit. It is about attracting people who genuinely love your high frequency instead of trying to drain your energy every single day. You are stepping into a season of radical alignment, but you must remember that your energy field is currently wide open. You just experienced a massive spiritual upgrade, and your aura is shining brighter than ever before. This brilliant light is incredibly beautiful, but it can also attract new energy vampires if you are not careful about your boundaries. You must actively claim your spiritual protection to stay safe. The old version of you would have left the door open for toxic people to return. You would have felt immensely guilty for setting firm boundaries. But the new version of you understands the extreme value of your divine energy, and you know that protecting your peace is your absolute highest priority. You will never let them steal from you again. The universe needs to see that you are fully ready to accept this massive blessing. Heaven requires a physical confirmation that you are officially closing the door on your past trauma. You must align your conscious actions with your new spiritual reality, because it is time to draw a permanent line in the sand against lower entities. Your victory is absolute. Your spirit guides are surrounding you right now with unconditional love. They are holding up a massive shield of divine light to block out the enemy. But they need your direct permission to permanently lock this protective seal into place, because you have the ultimate authority over your own life. You must use your voice to activate this shield. Think about all the generational curses you just shattered with your bravery. The future generations of your bloodline will never have to feel the intense pain you endured. You bought their freedom with your own tears, and your name is highly honored in the spiritual realm today as a legendary cycle breaker. The ancestors are cheering for you. As we approach the final moment of this divine message, you need to prepare your heart. Let go of any lingering doubts about your worthiness or your absolute power. You deserve every single beautiful thing that is rushing toward you right now, because you earned this massive victory through years of unseen spiritual warfare. Your quiet endurance has finally paid off. The universe is handing you the golden keys to your new kingdom. All you have to do is reach out and confidently claim what is rightfully yours. Do not shrink back from the massive light that is flooding into your life today, but stand tall and let the divine energy wash away your painful history. You are completely renewed from the inside out. We are about to perform a simple but incredibly powerful spiritual action. This is not just about interacting with a video on the internet today. This is a sacred declaration to the universe that you are ready to receive your ultimate reward, and I want you to focus all of your beautiful energy right now. This moment is meant entirely for you. You are God's chosen property, and no dark entity can ever touch you again. The heavy chapters of sorrow and cruel rejection are permanently closed forever. You are walking into a brilliant future filled with unconditional love. So get ready to seal this divine frequency into your reality right now. The portal is fully open for you. Your mother kept that terrifying secret because she knew this exact day would eventually come. She knew that once you woke up to your true divine power, her reign of toxic control would be completely over forever. You have finally awakened. You have successfully broken the chains. It is time to step into your eternal light. The massive, energetic shift you just felt is completely real. The heavy burden of your childhood is permanently lifted off your soul today. You are stepping into a brilliant light that nobody can ever extinguish, and the days of hiding your true power to make toxic people comfortable are completely over. You are finally breathing the free air of your new destiny. The dark entities that used your family to drain you are entirely banished. They are standing at the absolute edge of your aura right now, but they cannot cross the divine boundary that heaven just placed around your spirit. Your frequency is vibrating too high for their demonic influence to ever reach you again. You are entirely untouchable in this new realm. Let go of any remaining guilt about leaving their toxic matrix behind. You do not owe your light to people who only wanted to see you fail, because you have paid your spiritual debts in full through years of silent suffering. The universe officially declares that your karmic slate is completely clean. You are moving forward with zero obligations to your painful past. Heaven is watching your exact physical response to this massive revelation. The divine court wants to see if you are truly ready to accept your reward, and you must take a physical action to anchor this high frequency into your current physical reality. This is how you lock the door against the enemy forever. Your conscious participation is absolutely required right now. We are going to build a massive wall of divine protection together. I need you to go down into the comments right now and type exactly what I tell you, because this is your personal spiritual signature placed directly into the physical world. Type the word awake to claim your absolute power. Do not hesitate to declare your divine identity today. When you type that word, you are sending a massive shockwave into the spiritual realm, and the universe reads that comment as a formal acceptance of your new timeline. The ancestors are watching you proudly as you finally take up your rightful crown. You are loudly telling every dark entity that their covert war against your soul has officially failed. Now you must protect the beautiful energy you just claimed. Energy vampires will always try to test the strength of your new spiritual boundaries, and they will look for tiny cracks in your armor to sneak back into your life. That is why you must stay closely connected to the high-frequency sources that actively feed your soul. You cannot do this completely alone. Heaven intentionally led you to this exact message to bring you into the fold, because you are meant to be surrounded by other chosen ones who understand your massive depth. We are building a powerful spiritual army of cycle breakers and genuine empaths. The enemy is terrified of what happens when we finally unite our brilliant lights together. You need to seal your spiritual protection and permanently lock out the enemy right now. Follow this page to keep your divine armor fully activated every single day, because this is how you stay securely inside this protected energy field while the universe handles your enemies. Hit that follow button to officially join the ranks of the truly awakened souls. By joining this community, you are setting a permanent trap for any negative energy, and you are building an impenetrable fortress around your mind and your beautiful heart. We will continue to expose the dark secrets of the narcissists and the energy vampires. You will never have to fight those terrifying invisible battles by yourself ever again. Share this exact message with someone who desperately needs a spiritual shield today. There is another chosen one out there who is currently drowning in the same toxic family dynamics you just escaped, and your simple action could be the divine lifeline that heaven uses to save them. Be the bright light for someone else who is trapped in the heavy darkness. The universe is handing you unimaginable abundance and profound peace right now. Your mother kept the secret of your birth because she knew how powerful you would become, but her dark secret is finally out, and your brilliant light is completely unrestrained. Step forward and confidently claim the massive blessings that God prepared specifically for you. Your spiritual warfare is over, and your glorious season of harvesting has arrived. Remember who you are, and never let them dim your frequency again. You are God's strongest soldier. You are the ultimate generational curse breaker. Go out into the world and shine your magnificent light without any apologies, because the universe is walking right beside you forever.